flight formation. Flying number 1 in the lead position is Tom Pryor. And flying number 2 on the wing is Phil Sonny Cataldo. Let's watch now as the smoke comes on as they set up for their first formation pass in review. Tiger Flight is proud to support various organizations throughout the Southeast, whether it's partnering with the Boy Scouts of America for the Aviation Merit Badge Program, or their in-house youth education and motivational curriculum. The Tiger Flight Foundation takes pride in providing hands-on aviation experiences for youth. Flying the A2 Alon. I should mention, Tiger Flight is the only civilian flight team in the world who flies this twin-tailed tiger in close formation. Furthermore, they are the only civilian team to have a connection to the famous flying tigers of World War II. The program receiving a see this airborne delivery as they prepare to deploy equipment out the rear door of the aircraft. The C-130 has been widely used as an aerial refueling platform, cargo transport, medical evacuation airlift, reconnaissance platform, and even as tactical gunships. Since 1954, it has served all. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Georgia State Patrol Aviation and SWAT units proudly present today's capabilities demonstration. Featuring now the Bell 429 Global Ranger helicopter. This is a 4-blade, single-engine, civil-utility helicopter. Now deployed to the road, prepared to shoot some of our troopers and throw out of the helicopter. However, a simulation situation takes place on the runway. The helicopter is set up in a public configuration. As you can imagine, the hurricane force winds will swing over the ground below. With the configuration of the cockpit, helicopter is unable to lift down at the target. Outboard, the plane is on the tactical flight using UFOs to eliminate the taking off the top door of the helicopter and communicate over the helicopter for different purposes such as forward events, left and right, or up and down as required to take the helicopter to the precise location. Quite a bit of crew out there on the runway as well. The State of Georgia SWAT team is a functional organization providing weapon and tactical expertise not normally available to troopers of the Georgia State Patrol. This expertise is utilized in the resolution of criminal events as an effort to reduce the risk of injury, loss of life to citizens, police officers, and suspects. The SWAT team provides highly trained and skilled tactical crew as a resource for agencies in resulting critical incidents such as barricaded suspects and hostage situations. The team is comprised of troopers who perform this duty on a part-time basis. They are called upon from their normal duties to attend critical operations and training to provide support to other agency teams in protracted situations. As the helicopter makes its reposition, capabilities of the Georgia State Patrol make them a professional response organization, operating 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Now demonstrating the fire extraction system. The men and women of our first responders are exceptionally talented, highly trained, and very competent individuals, keeping us safe 365 days a year, 7 days a week. They are fantastic individuals, and we are proud to support the men and women of our first responders here in Rome and across the United States. Coming by now again, showcasing the Spies extraction system. Be sure to get your cameras ready as the Bell 429 helicopter approaches from our left. Or the ability to pump water from the bucket into an internal tank. Another name for these are affectionately known as monsoon buckets. Georgia State Patrol troopers out there currently removing the spine's extraction system and cleaning up the helicopter as it now takes flight and exits off to the right-hand side of our Airshow airspace. The Hercules, very versatile, and at one time, the U.S. Navy even looked into developing an amphibious version of this aircraft, and in fact, it holds the record for being the largest and heaviest aircraft to ever land on an aircraft carrier. And it did so without a tail hook. High and to the left, here comes the Herc, the C-130. On October 30th of 1963, the C-130 performed a very unusual test to see whether or not they could land on an aircraft carrier. And not only did it land on the USS Forrestal, it took off from it as well and successfully did so some 21 times. That program was to test whether or not the Herc could be developed into a carrier onboard delivery aircraft, or COD, for the U.S. Navy. Fairly simple. To turn left, the jumper pulls down the left steering line. To turn right, the jumper pulls down on the right steering line. And as he or she nears the ground, the jumper will pull on both steering lines simultaneously, slowing his or her parachute down for the slowest and safest possible landing. Although they are capable of performing both high altitude, low opening, and high altitude, high opening jumps, the principal technique demonstrated by the Black Daggers is the high altitude, low opening halo form of stealth insertion. Used to land troops and equipment behind enemy lines, it was first conducted in combat in the Vietnam War by the Military Assistance Command, Vietnam Studies and Observation Group. Adorned with an extra 100 pounds of military equipment, these jumpers from Fort Bragg, North Carolina are approaching to secure the drop zone. When called upon, the U.S. Army Special Operations Command supports operations anywhere, anytime. Now, as our jumpers make their way into the target area, the ground is a great reflector of sound. Let's make some noise as we bring our jumpers into the target area. The C-17 has now been slowed to 120 miles an hour. The 6-speed jumper is in terminal velocity. To circle our jumpers in this second run will be Airshow pilots Michael Wiskus and Buck Roper of their 5th Special Biplane. gratitude for the sacrifices they made, the pain they endured, and the hardships suffered to ensure the flame of freedom will never be extinguished. Square feet, known affectionately to the Black Daggers team as Betsy. It is among one of the largest banners to be flown under canopy. Here, very shortly, we will salute our flag and salute those who serve beneath that flag with our national anthem. Today's anthem flyover will be conducted by two T-38 Talons from the 14th Flying Training Wing based at Columbus Air Force Base, Mississippi. A beautiful sight high above as our flags make their way into the air show area. And a special electronic scoring system to simulate dropping of bombs and other ordnance. Let's take a look now as our T-38s bring the heat. The Talons from Columbus Air Force Base. 200 miles an hour as they extend off to our left and right end of our air show grounds, giving us just a tease with what we're going to see later on between these two incredible solo aerobatic pilots. Michael Wiskus, an outstanding individual in our air show business. He has been flying for more than 40 years and it has more than 24,000 hours of flight time. Buck Roman, he's from Luthersville, Georgia, some 24,000 hours of flight time. Now, to effectively get things started here at Wings Over North Georgia, we're going to have something I have not seen in a very long time. It's the inverted double ribbon cut. Let's watch as they bring it in 200 miles an hour, just 15 feet. Wings Over North Georgia 2020 open for business. These gentlemen are masters at their craft, giving you again just a little tease of what we're going to see later on throughout the day. As they oppose each other with airspeeds and a closure rate of some 200 miles an hour. Now, right now to the right, here comes Buck Roman with the yellow and prepares to roll the airplane on the upright. To the right. Landing the airplane way up high, about 1,500 feet right there, as he swaps in to bring it towards the ground. He will stand directly in front of us as we now bring in Michael. In the 1930s, they were S1 single-seater with Curtis Kidd. Like these two gentlemen do. Buck Roman now in again from our left. One of a handful of pilots in our air show industry. What you'll watch this as he stops Yes, it is a mask. Ladies and gentlemen, from the left, the C-17 Glowmaster 3 in the high-speed pass. Ladies and gentlemen, the C-17 is now reapproaching from your right. Notice how quiet it is at the pass at Show Center. This gives our crews a tactical advantage while flying low over hostile territory and allows for tactical operations at airfields near heavy populated cities. This reliable airlifter combines the intercontinental cargo capability of large aircraft such as the C-5 Galaxy with the short field landing potential of the much smaller C-130 Hercules. The ability to fly anywhere in the world non-stop using its air-to-air refueling capability. Air Force personnel routinely fly 24-hour missions on board the C-17 with a single crew, the most basic crew required to operate the C-17 without seeing one of these bombers swooping in with guns ablaze. In all theaters of the war, from Alaska to North Africa, China, Europe, and the Southwest Pacific. They were flown by the U.S. Army Air Corps, U.S. Marine Corps, as well as the Air Forces of Britain, Canada, Australia, Russia, China, and the middle 1940s. This airport here in Rome originally established in 1942 for the Navy as an auxiliary air station. It operated up until 1945 before transitioning to civilian use. Was later returned as a trainer and navigator and bombardier training. And then after retiring to the boneyard, it was recovered, outfitted with a water tank, and went through a few other owners before now being flown by the very well-respected Larry Kelly of Maryland.
Demonstrate the hog's rapid roll capability and rolling his aircraft at 200 degrees per second. And now, from the left, is a look to swing the warthog's rolling. Demonstrate the hog's precise handling characteristics. As he rolls, you will notice a heritage paint scheme inspired by the Hunheimer Texas, a World War II B-51 Mustang piloted by Captain Henry Brown, highest scoring ace for the 355th Fighting Division. slow roll. Now performing a classic aerobatic maneuver, the Cuban 810's remarkable maneuverability enables it to perform its close motion board missions, twisting and turning low over the battlefield. The Warthog delivers devastating firepower, destroying targets in close proximity to friendly ground forces. This makes the airplane much harder to kill and aids immensely in achieving tactical surprise. The Hog's engines are also extremely fuel efficient, enabling it to fly more than 1,000 miles without well over twice the speed of any driver. On the battlefield, this capability enables the Warthog to turn quickly and evade enemy air defenses. Major Wilderness. Makes it very difficult for enemy anti-aircraft gunners to track the A-10. The Warthog was built to withstand significant battle damage, while having the capability to fire on a single engine and a total loss of hydraulic power. The Warthog has a well-earned reputation for strength and striking power, a reputation earned in multiple deployments where Hogs destroyed numerous enemy armored vehicles, artillery sites, Scud missiles, and was even credited with 2 air-to-air kills. Today, the upgraded A-10C continues to set the standard for supporting Allied forces in today's fight. And now, from the right, Major Wilson in a 4-point roll displaying the crisp handling characteristics of the A-10.
5 horsepower from a single Lycoming AEIO 540 Thunderbolt engine. Now, 375 horses might not sound like a whole lot to you gearheads out there, but consider this. The airplane weighs in empty just about 12 to weight ratio. You can see its flying performance now as Buck Roman from Lucasville, Georgia takes it way up top to the base of the clouds to an upright spin. 2 turns on the way down. Buck has been flying for more than 42 years and has flown more than 150 different kinds of aircraft, from small aerobatic biplanes to fast corporate business jets, resulting in some, get this, 18,000 hours. If you were to take off and log all that time in a single flight, you'd have to be in the air for some 2 years and 15 days. We watch him now as he caps it off on the top, the airspeed. As he extends down the left end of Airshow box, let's watch as he pulls the stick back back into his lap, little right turn, about 4 times the force of gravity pushed him to the seat right there. Buck has obtained a great variety of FAA certificates and certifications, including commercial, multi-engine, CFI, CFII, CFIM, and ATP. He is flying his Learjet. He's flying straight and level for a major corporate flight company. I have had the chance to fly in many aircraft, much like Buck's Pitt Special biplane. And I'll tell you, it's quite a violent ride inside the cockpit. These high-performance planes, kind of like Ferraris or maybe even F1s or IndyCar. They're very, very fast. They're very gray for you and me.
Trojan Thunder. And here he comes again from the left, bringing in Mad Dog. Designed in the late 1940s to replace the T-6 Saxon as a military's primary two-seat trainer. The first flight in 1928 was in 1949. And we are excited that this aircraft has actually been flying for over 17 years. This piston engine military trainer was used by the United States Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps as Mad Dog is painted in the Marine Corps scheme. They flew from the 1957, the Republic of Vietnam Air Force, and the French Air Force. Here comes drive again from the right. Training flight was flown by the U.S. Navy in the early 1984. When the T-28s were decommissioned from active duty service, they were sold to private civil operators, beginning bringing the aircraft to air shows just like Mad Dog with Jive. Has a max speed of 343 miles per hour with the radial engines that were developed by Curtiss-Wright for the B-17 bomber. It was manufactured by the North American Aviation Corporation. The Trojans B, C, and D models are all powered by the single engine Curtiss-Wright.
Camera in the back seat during his routine, but unfortunately with the drive-in format, we don't have him here with us today. But watch him now as he comes by. You see underneath there a couple of panels, and those are air brakes. They're called spoilers. They actually spoil the air and create drag that allows the aircraft to slow down. With the incoming weather right now, Scott has decided to go ahead and call it off for the time being. He's going to bring it around to land. Unfortunately, they couldn't do their full aerobatic performance today, but I hope you'll join me in a nice round of applause for Scott Farnsworth and the Super. Washington Airplanes is cleaning hangars. 38 years later, Mike has accumulated more than 24,000 hours of flight time and has qualified in more than 40 different kinds of aircraft. We watch him now as he performs that maneuver to the left called the slide line, as he actually holds it onto the prop and uses the rudder of that aircraft to slide that aircraft on the 45-degree upline. He'll bring it in now from the left as he rolls the airplane. Majority of his adult life. As I mentioned, he started training at 14 years old and received his pilot's license near the national minimum of just 16. Before you race and perform his full aerobatic performance, but he is keeping it low and personal right now as he brings in the good getting fully in tune with this aircraft. And the current trend is good, which means as soon as this moves out of the way, we should be able to continue on time and on target. But for right now, we're going to be putting ourselves into a bit of a hold. But right now, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and introduce to you an individual that flew earlier in the A-10 Thunderbolt II, and his name is Major Cody Shiv Wilton. And Shiv, I'll tell you what, I've seen the A-10 demo before, but I've never seen it vape that much.
Yeah, we got lucky with the weather. It was just perfect enough to get good vape and get the whole demo in before it moved in on us.
You bet. You guys coming in from Davis-Monthan Air Force Base out in Tucson, 355th Wing, doing a fantastic job showcasing off the A-10. And we call it the A-10 demo team, and even though it's a single ship and it's just you up there flying, it's really a big monstrous event in order to bring the team out and to keep those airplanes flying as well. The maintainers do quite a bit of hard work and are a big component to the team.
Yeah, we got about 10 folks full-time on the team that run it, and we got 3 jets back home, so we bring 2 to the show. So it is a big movement, like you said, to get everything out to the show and put on a good demonstration.
You got it. Now, with the A-10 Thunderbolt II, everyone knows it best by its name of the Warthog or the Tank Killer, and it's designed around that gun, the Ga.Date Avenger Gatling gun, shooting rounds towards tanks and really taking care of business. You've had the chance to fly this aircraft both in demos and also in combat. Tell me a little bit about the capabilities of the A-10.
Well, like you said, the gun, you got 70 rounds a second of freedom right there.
Yeah.
So you put that on target and it's going to take out whatever you need. Otherwise, we got bombs, all sorts of bombs, the general purpose, laser guided, GPS guided, you name it. Laser guided rockets, those are the newest toy. And then, of course, like 500-pound missiles that we can fire off that thing. Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the favorite parts of the routine for me in particular, of course, are the strafe runs, especially when you get it kind of logged in there, you get down that down plane, getting ready to deploy the ordnance, and then you've got that maneuver where you pull up, we see lots of vape, and you rip off, and I think they've made a name for that called the Shiv Squat. Yeah, that's a kind of a crowd favorite. Everyone loves the strafe pass, but that squat at the bottom, it's just max perform in the jet. So you get it right up to the max speed to pull 7.3 Gs, which is the airframe limit. And you just get right in there and then unload immediately because you're in a pretty aggressive stall at that point. Yeah, and what's interesting too about the A-10 is that it's been part of the inventory for quite some time, and there have been some efforts in recent years and the previous months where to try to retire the A-10, but it's such a good close air support or CAS airplane. The ground troops love this thing, and they know they're in good hands when they hear a hog inbound or they check up on the radio. Yeah, that's the best part about CAS. If you check in an A-10, you're everybody's best friend out there. Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Shiv, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully
is now configuring his aircraft to demonstrate the A-10 slow speed controllability at its final approach speed of 120 knots. Get your cameras ready. This slow speed pass will give you a good chance to see the A-10's high bypass engines and unique tail design. These distinct features help mask the engine heat signature, aiding the pilot to defeat infrared missiles. Let's go to the cockpit of the A-10 and hear what Major Wilton has to say.
Okay.
What does that look like? It looks like a dadgum squished frog.
The Lord has been a well-earned reputation for strength and striking power. A reputation earned in multiple deployments, Hobbs destroyed numerous enemy armored vehicles, artillery sites, Scud missiles, and was even credited with 2 air-to-air kills. Today, the upgraded A-10Z continues to set the standard for supporting Allied forces in today's fight. Now, from the right, Major Wilton in a 4-point roll displaying the crisp handling characteristics of the A-10.